Hi, this is Dr. Famila. Now I am going to explain time-dependent perturbation theory, approximate solution of Schrodinger equation. It is impossible to obtain exact solution of the Schrodinger equation when the Hamiltonian depends on time. Therefore, such an equation is solved by time-dependent perturbation theory, which is also called as method of variation of constants. The theory of time-dependent perturbation was developed by Dirac in the year 1927. This theory is useful for studying processes of absorption and emission of radiation by atoms or for treating the transitions of quantum system from one energy level to another energy level. In perturbation problems, the Hamiltonian is split into two parts. One part is called unperturbed part, which is large, and the corresponding Schrodinger equation is assumed to be exactly solvable. The other part is treated as perturbation, that is perturbed part, and the corresponding Schrodinger equation is not exactly solvable. Thus the total Hamiltonian is written as H is equal to H naught plus H prime of t, where H naught is an unperturbed Hamiltonian and H prime of t is a small time dependent perturbation term. Direct solutions cannot be obtained for such equation due to time-dependent perturbation term. Hence, we deal the problem in a different manner. Since H0 is unperturbed Hamiltonian, that is time-independent term, let us assume that the eigenvalues and eigenstates of H0 are exactly known and it is given by H0 phi n is equal to En phi n, where phi n denote the complete set of eigenfunction of H0 and En denote the possible energy eigenvalues. The time-dependent Schrodinger equation for state psi is I h cross dou psi by dou t is equal to h psi. The energy eigenstate of such a system is psi of t is equal to summation over n Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross, where Sn is the time dependent constant and phi n of r is the time independent constant. Now substitute equations 4 and 1 in equation 3. So we get I h cross dou by dou t summation over n Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross is equal to h naught plus h prime into summation over n Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross. Here if you see, Sn depends on time and there is a t term in the exponential term. Therefore, we apply UV formula of differentiation. So first I am going to differentiate Sn of t with respect to t. So I get I h cross summation over n dou Sn of t by dou t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross. Now I differentiate the exponential term keeping Sn of t as constant. So I h cross summation over n Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross into minus I En by h cross. That is equal to, now multiply the h naught and h prime with the terms inside the bracket. That is, we get h naught into summation over n Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross plus h prime into summation over n Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross. But we know that dou into Sn of t by dou t is equal to Sn dot of t. Therefore, instead of dou Sn of t by dou t, we can write summation over n I h cross Sn dot of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross. And here there is a minus term. This minus I am going to take outside. So I will get minus summation over n I h cross Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I En t by h cross into I En by h cross is equal to, the right hand side remains the same. We know that the cross product of two imaginary numbers is -1. So here, if you see the second term of the LHS, there are two I terms. So I into I becomes -1, -1 into this minus becomes plus. So we get summation over n I h cross Sn dot of t phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross plus summation over n h cross Sn of t phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross e into e n by h cross. That is equal to RHS remains the same. And we know that so now we are going to group this En and phi n. So I have written all other terms remains the same. So summation over n Sn dot of t phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross plus summation over n Sn of t e n phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross. Again the RHS remains the same. Now using equation 2, that is phi naught En phi n is equal to h naught phi n. So using that, the above equation becomes summation over n I h cross Sn dot of t phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross plus summation over n Sn of t. So instead of this e n phi n of r, I have substituted h naught phi n of r into e power minus I e n t by h cross. That is equal to summation over n Sn of t h naught phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross plus summation over n Sn of t h prime of phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross. Now cancelling the like terms, that is the second term of the LHS and the first term of the RHS, both are like terms, so we can cancel it. So after cancelling we get summation over n I h cross Sn dot of t phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross is equal to summation over n Sn of t h prime phi n of r e power minus I e n t by h cross. Now multiplying both the sides by phi k asterisk and integrating overall configuration space, summation over n I h cross Sn dot of t e power I e n t by h cross. This phi n is taken outside, so integral phi k asterisk phi n of r into d tau, that is equal to summation over n Sn of t e power minus I e n t by h cross integral phi k asterisk h prime phi n of r into d tau. The orthonormality condition of phi using Kronecker delta function is integral phi k asterisk phi n of r into d tau is equal to delta kn. This delta kn is equal to 0 for n not equal to k and delta kn is equal to 1 for n is equal to k. Therefore the above equation becomes summation over n I h cross Sn dot of t e power minus I e n t by h cross delta kn. That is, instead of this integral I have substituted delta kn, that is equal to summation over n Sn of t e power minus I e n t by h cross integral phi k asterisk h prime phi n of r into d tau. In the LHS, all terms will be 0 except kth term due to the properties of Kronecker delta function. Therefore, instead of n, we have substituted k because all the terms will be 0. So I have written I h cross sk dot of t e power minus I e k t by h cross is equal to summation over n Sn of t e power minus I e n t by h cross into integral phi k asterisk h prime phi n of r into d tau. The integral on RHS is a matrix and can be written as Using bra and ket vector, we can write k h prime n is equal to h prime kn. Therefore, the equation 6 becomes I h cross sk dot of t is equal to, so here the exponential term I have taken to the RHS, that is equal to summation over n Sn of t e power I ek minus en into t by h cross, and this instead of this integral I have written the matrix form h prime kn. But the Bohr's angular frequency is omega kn is equal to ek minus en by h cross. Therefore, time dependent constants Sns are obtained by substituting equation 8 in equation 7. So instead of this ek minus en by h cross, we can substitute omega kn. Therefore, we get sk dot of t is equal to the IH cross term is taken to the other side, so it becomes IH cross the whole power minus 1. So IH cross the whole power minus 1 summation over n Sn of t h prime kn e power I omega kn t. In the next step, I have just written h prime of kn in the matrix form using bracket vector. Now we observe from equation 9 that if the perturbation term, that is h prime, were absent, then all the sk dot of terms would be constants. For this reason, this method is also referred to as method of variation of constants. Since h prime is a very small time dependent perturbation term, we can express sk dot of t as a power series in lambda. That is, sk dot of t is equal to sk s dot k of 0 plus lambda s dot k of 1 plus lambda square s dot k square plus etc. In the series, the order of each term denoted by the superscript gives the number of factors of h prime in it. We can also express Sn of t as a power series in lambda, since h prime is a very small time dependent perturbation term. Now substituting equation 11 in equation 10 and replacing h prime by lambda h prime. So s dot of k of 0 plus lambda s dot of k of 1 plus lambda square s dot of k square plus etc. is equal to IH cross the whole power minus 1, the matrix form. So in the matrix form, instead of h prime, we have written lambda h prime and Sn of 0 plus lambda Sn of 1 plus lambda square Sn square plus etc. into e power I omega kn t. Now equating the coefficients of corresponding powers of lambda, if you see the first term s dot k of 0, there is no corresponding powers of lambda, so it is taken as 0. And if you see the second term s dot k of 1, here since there is a lambda term, if we multiply this lambda to each term inside this bracket, so Sn of 0 will take lambda, the second term will take lambda square, third term will take lambda cube and so on. So s dot k of 1 is equal to IH cross the whole power minus 1, the matrix, now Sn of 0 e power I omega kn into t. Similarly, we can write s dot k of 2 is equal to IH cross the whole power minus 1, the matrix Sn of 1 e power I omega kn t. In general, we can write s dot k r plus 1 is equal to summation over n IH cross the whole power minus 1 the matrix Sn of R e power I omega kn t, where R is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Using this, we can get desired order in the perturbation. Now, zero order calculation. Suppose that the perturbation H prime begins to act at time t is equal to 0. At time t is equal to 0, when the perturbation has not yet had a chance to act, then S dot K1, S dot K2, etc. must be necessarily be 0. Thus, from equation 12, we have S dot K of 0 is equal to 0. This implies d by dt of Sk0 is equal to 0. Now, integrating this, we get Sk0 is equal to constant in time. This shows that 0th order coefficient of lambda is constant in time. That is, there is no perturbation in 0th order. That is, they give the initial values of the system at time t is equal to 0 and specifies the state of the system before the application of the perturbation. For convenience, without loss of generality, we may write Sk0 is equal to bra k ket m, which is equal to delta km, where m is the initial state. Accordingly, Sk0 is equal to 1 for k is equal to m, that is Sm of 0 is equal to 1, and Sk0 is equal to 0 for k not equal to m. Therefore, equation 10 can be rewritten as Sk dot of t is equal to I h cross the whole power minus 1 Sm of 0 into t, the matrix e power I omega km t. You have observed that instead of n, I have written m. So, m is nothing but the initial state. We have considered the initial state m for easy calculation of 0th order instead of considering the n general states. So, I can write it as S dot k of t is equal to I h cross the whole power minus 1, the matrix e power I omega km into t. Here Sm of t is equal to 1 by applying the Kronecker delta function. Now, first order perturbation. Suppose the perturbation is switched on at time t is equal to 0 and switched off at time t is equal to t prime. Therefore, perturbation is applied during a finite time interval t prime. Due to applied perturbation, transition from one state to another state after the time t prime can happen. Once the perturbation is switched off, the system settles down to a stationary state. From equation 13, we have S dot k of 1 is equal to I h cross the whole power minus 1, the matrix Sm of 0 e power I omega km t. And here, since Sm of 0 is equal to 1, neglecting that, we can write it as I h cross the whole power minus 1, the matrix e power I omega km into t. In the above equation, again, instead of considering n general states, we have considered a single state m, which is the final state, for easy calculation. Integrating the above equation between the limits minus infinity to t prime, we get Sk1 of t is equal to I h cross the whole power minus 1, integral minus infinity to 0, the matrix e power I omega km t into dt, plus integral 0 to t prime, the matrix e power I omega km t prime into dt. The first integral takes the value 0 and also the constant of integration is taken to be 0. Hence, in general, the above equation can be written as Sk of 1 is equal to I h cross the whole power minus 1 integral 0 to t the matrix e power I omega t into dt. This is the approximate solution of time dependent perturbation theory.